Hello everyone, welcome back Hotel Mammon video lecture. Myself Arvind Chauhan, Assistant Professor, BBD University Lucknow. I am here to deliver a lecture on the food and beverage service. So let's start. Okay, so very good morning to everyone. So welcome to the next session of your second unit, which is wine. Today we will learn about what is the label wines, how to label the wines, how to read the label of wine, and we also learn about what are the different other countries wines like France, Germany, Portuguese, South Africa, Australia, Spain, Italian, Indian, USA. So we will also learn about the other countries wines. All right. So now I start with the label of wines. As you can see in this picture, there is written over here Penfold. This is the name of the producer of the wine. Penfold, grape varietal, percentage, vintage, and clear valley. So in the label of wine bottle, there is a written percentage, alcoholic percentage is also there, volume by volume. Vintage year in 1997 is vintage years means when the grapes were harvested. When the grapes were this is the year the grapes were harvested. All right, and grape varietal may or may not be mentioned. In this case it is blended, so sometimes there is single grape wine like the Cabernet Sauvignon, and this is the blending of wine, the Cabernet Sauvignon Shiraz with it water. All right, and Clare Valley, this is the wine growing districts. All right, once more for your understanding, this is the American wine Padron Celi. This is the name of the producer of the wine. So first is producer of the wine, then vintage year where the grapes were harvested. Cabernet Sauvignon, this is the grape name, grape varietal. Sonoma country, the viticulture area. Vintage selection is special designation given by the winery. This is the vintage selection. Okay, I hope it is clear now. Reading the label, wine name, winery name, vintage year, so on so. All right. Reading a wine label, French wine. Written is written over here. Appellation the border superior control. This is the name of the AOC. Appellation AOC controlling or growing region, district or village to which the wine is entitled according to how it was produced. For example, a wine from the Saint Emilion district would be labeled appellation Saint Avenue controlling. Okay, 75%, 75 cl the volume of wine in the bottle, 75 centimeter centiliter, just under 1 liter is standard. 11 volume, a percentage of alcohol by volume, which varies by appellation. Okay, and another you can see here, J. Hub Straub. This is the producer of the wine. Nest Trainer, the town from which the wine originated. German add suffix and make necessary that the person from the New York is called New Yorker. Okay, Buckskin, this is the vineyard from the grape originated. Riesling, this is the grape varietal. Cabernet, it is the ripeness level of grapes. In case of normally ripened grapes, 1954 is a vintage year. Okay, then quality wines labels, volume by volume percentage. So now let's discuss about. Now I'll be discussing about the wine of the France. Okay, so one by one we will take the first wing to start with the France wine. The French wine, there's a certain laws, there's a certain rules where the wine has to be certified, has to be affiliated, and how the people are maintain a quality. So these are the some standard and some authorization rules which we have to follow in particular region. So start with the wine of the France. Law of the France is the first established in early 90s, modified a number of times. All right. Application controlling naming laws. The name of wine reveals quality, help prevent fraud, and gives authenticity. The name of wine reveals quality, help prevent fraud, and give authenticity. All right. In 1935, INA was established. What is the INO? INO Institute National the Appellation the Origin West is the West. INO created order out for confusion. The ground rule of naming a wine is basically geographical area, varietal, yield, viticulture, vinification, aging, alcoholic content, and the taste and taste. Gradation of the French wine AOC appellation the origin control the highest quality and the most prestigious grading for French wine, but produces only 25% of the all wines. With the QS, win the limit the quality superiority, creating in 1949, one notch down from AOC. Okay, so VDQS is the one notch down from the VOC. Okay, so this is the less important as per the AOC. Creating in 1949, one notch down from the AOC, more scope of choice. They field taste demands 50% of all wine. Win the pay means generally means literally means the country wine. Even wine is scoop but a specific area not much exported. Win the table, the bottom rank but the certain standard. No geographical indication, full blended. Win ordinary, the labeled by the alcoholic content, sometimes cheaper than even mineral water. All right. Wine production region of the France. This is the important. You have to remember the at least six region of the France. Bordeaux, Burgundy, Champagne, Jura, Loire Valley. Okay. Saint-Emilion, Burgundy, Côte d'Or, Côte d'Nid, Vigilance is important even. Chablis, Vigilance, Chablis, Alsace, Jura, Provence, Languedoc, Roselle. Alright, so these are the wine of region of the France. In the Ivory region, they have several districts, and there are several districts, and so they have several vineyards. Okay, it's just like a country, then the state, then the district, then the village, and the grape varietal where we have to harvest the grapes for a vineyard, you can say. Bordeaux, the probably the most percentage wine region, producing 5% of French wine, 25% AOC wines, quality good, quantity less, climate mild winter, and warm summer item. Alright, the grape mostly used green grapes, Sauvignon Blanc, Muscatel Semillon, Blas grape used Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet France, Melbourne, Petit Verdot, Merlot. Alright, just a moment. And a red wine, delicate light bodies, and dry wine, good accompaniments with food. Bordeaux wine are referred to the clear French claret colored. White wine more sweet than dry, often golden color. A few rosé wines also are produced, more than 35 countries, but the following five are most notable. Medoc, Pomerol, Saint-Emilion, mainly red grapes, both red and white. Sauter's. Further crust classes clarified growth and grading Medoc. Right, so these are the districts and wineries. Okay, okay, so these are the German wines. All right, German wines, not much wine, about 10% of France or Italy. National beverage is beer. So in Germany, the national beverage is the name of is beer. Okay, remember this. What is the national beverage of the Germany is beer. Long history of wine probably started by Romans. Great fame since Charlemagne time 800 AD. Best vineyard near the 5 degree line. Chances of good wine. Look slim, but when they are good. The style is inimitable. In good years, the sugar acid balance is artistic, perfect combination of soil and food of characteristic and interest. The finest wine are very enjoyed along least any food should restrict them. Vineyards are primarily the valley of Rhine and Moselle, most northerly in Europe. A steep river bank, good sunshine and warmth released by river during the night. Short summers, early winters, often frost. Early peaked chaptalization is allowed in the poorer years. Some some best some best are the rare wine are made from the ripened grapes. Degree of ripen therefore is more major criterion for grading the wine. Label often name grapes best wine from the grapes German grape Riesling. Price of quality is quantity. Yield of Riesling is half of the consumer souvenir. The wine laws in Germany controlled by the series of laws since 1879. Government published new laws July 1969, then modified in 1971. Previously 50,000 named wine, now less than 3,000. Okay. First standards is the Duster Tafelwin, most ordinary consumed local, almost no export, only broad region name Rhine Moselle etc. If only Tafelwin, most likely to be blended with cheaper wines from abroad. Quality wins Bestimter Unbogebet QBA usually refer to just the quality wines from the controlled growing districts, good quality, but natural sugar content is low. Chaptalization about 10% volume by volume, minimum most weight at 75. QBA wine carry a test number, best had youngs, right? Quality wins mid predicate QMPA, the best wine, a quality wine with special attribute, chaptalization not allowed. In QMP, chaptalization is not allowed. Minimum must weigh 75, carry the test number. QMP 1 carry degree of sweeteners. Previously, traditional meanings now determined by the must weight. Grading of QMPA, cabinet minimum 75, pick general October's later than rest in Europe. Okay, the wine region of Germany, 11 region of under quality wines. Each region has two or more districts. Total is 34. Each district has several villages. Each village has several vineyards. Okay, these things I have discussed earlier. In the country, then they have several states. Then they have several districts. Then they have several vineyards. Right? About 14 wines, villages. About 26 vineyards. Each they may appear in the labels. Rhine wine, Hock wines is important in Germany. English refer to Rhine wine, Hock wine from is a very popular wine in Germany. A better wine are Rangu, Winkler, Johannesburg, Itweiler, Rheinhessen. So these are the name of the wines. Mosel wines, another major region. Mosel are these are this region wine, the better wines. Mosel Saar, who are Franken wines, much drier, refer to the Steven, marketed in Flogan shaped bottles. Some better known wine, Stelter, Sport Fair. Okay, other regions, Ehar, Bergstrasse, the small regions, German sparkling wine. German sparkling wine are generic. Sect is a German sparkling wine. Okay, good. Come to the next. We'll now be discussing about the wine of Italy. All right, wine of Italy. Okay, one vineyard, one vast vineyard some of the oldest in Europe, most variety that any other countries. They have the most variety as compared to other countries. Half of the size of France, but quantity is almost equal. Wines in all 20 provinces, tremendous variety at moderate France price, some extremely fine, 60% red, probably second only to Bordeaux and Burgundy. More like Burgundy's robust, full bodies, deep red. Many of them undergo long aging in cast mature taste. Wine law of Italy, not as well classified as in France. Name may be confusing, name after village or district, or both, some neither. Some denote dry, sweet, sparkling, etc. Some denote all. Smaller grower have cooperatives. The cooperative seal in the labels. The cooperative produce half the Italy all wines. In mild 1960s, government formed strict rules known as DOC, Denominatio de Origine Controllata, specified and controlled geographical limit. Grape varieties yield the minimum alcoholic content, minimum aging. These are the required for the particular grading system. Gradation of wines. Denominatio de Origine Controllata is the graded naming of origin, DOCG. Only a few outstanding wines. Some examples: Albana di Romango, Barbaresco, Barolo, Chianti. Alright, these are the wines. Denominator the origin controllata, DOC control naming of origin, certified, grapes grow in different areas, certain quality levels, classico, superior, aging process, vino topico, similar to the table of France, table wine of France, and vin de tavola is the table wines, and vin de topico is country wines as a France, as a Italy. The wine region of Italy, Lombardy, Toscana, Vino, Piedmento, Sicily, Italian sparkling wine are Spumette, Vino Spumette, Anti Spumette. This is the most Italian sparkling wine, dedicated to sweet aroma process. Alright. Some other better known wines are Flerno, Capri, Campania, Regina Campania. So Italian terms important. Avocado, Amobilo is semi-sweet, means semi-sweet. Seco means dry. Dolce sweet. Rosso red. Bianco white. Rosato rosé. Anato vintage. Visio old. Rosito wine made from partially dried grapes. Reserva aged for long and specific periods. Alright. Okay, so moving to, okay, let's discuss the wine of Spanish wines. The third largest wine producing country in the world. Spain is the third largest wine producing country in the world. Bulk are ordinary, some fine ones on the coast. Sherry. Sherry is the important wine, fortified wines. Alright, there are the 28 regions: Rioja, La Mancha, Catalonia, Penendo, Andalusia. Other regions: Sherry. Sherry is a complex blend of wine fortified by the regions of additional spirits. Appearance of England in early 16th century, immediately popular fortification of Fiji. Troubling English called it shake from Spanish cacar. Export. Main town Jerez, Andalusia from Portuguese frontier West Mediterranean Greece. Seri district between Guadalquivir and Guadalete rivers. Jerez de Frontera is the Seri capital. Jerez de Frontera is the Seri capital. Other town are San Luca or Barrameda. Okay, soil. The important soil is the lime, chalk, magnesium, and clay. Grape use Palomino, Pedro Jimenez, and other Monte Castillo. These are the important grapes, and the Palomino is 90% of the wine produced, sherry produced. By the Palomino grapes, 90% sherry produced. Manufacture of the sherry. Okay, manufacture of the sherry we will discuss in detail in when we will learn fortified wines in detail. Okay, just quickly go through the full dried grapes. Okay, we will teach you about the insular system. Okay, okay. Now I'll be discussing about the Chile wines. What are the Chile wines? This is another country which is there in near the USA, and the strip of land 43,000 kilometer long and 200 kilometer wide. A country defined to the north by the hot, dry Atacama Desert, to the south by ice and snow, to the east by the Andes Mountain, and to the west by the Pacific Ocean. Average annual growth of excess 60%. First wine introduced in mid 16th century by Catholic missionaries who had accompanied the Spanish conquistadors. Chilean Spanish conquistadors. Okay. In 1840s, Chile became the biggest wine producer in Latin America. The wine adapted particularly well, paving the way of producing the first Chilean wine. 1865, Falabella invites Europe. 1986, major high prestige invaders take us interest of Chile, generating a real technology transfers. Modern method of introducing stainless steel vat, low temperature fermentation near new oak cask, etc. Top Chilean estates direct their production towards fine wines for export. The three wine growing regions are divided into sub-region of zones, region, sub-regions zone. The regions Aconcagua regions, sub-regions Aconcagua Valley, Casablanca Valley, Central Valley, Mapa Valley, Rapil Valley. These are the valleys. Okay. Ideal soil and climate subject to dual during the day. Sea breezes are warmed by contact with the coastal range and penetrate the valleys. At night, cold air blows down from the Andes Mountains. Hot days and cool nights have ensured optimum maturity. The highest wine in the world, the only country in the world unaffected by the phylloxera. So point is this. This is the important point. Chile, this is the unaffected phylloxera produced by the natural berries, desert to the north and Andes to east and Pacific Ocean to the west. Little need to treatment, total absence of mildew, vines grow without root stock and grafting. Geographical climate, the two greatest influence of Chile climate are huge mass of Pacific Ocean to the west and most importantly the spectacular mountain range at the Andes which run as boundaries down the entire eastern edge of country. Right? Okay. Casablanca, one of the new quality regions that have reality full Chilean global map. Casablanca is a relatively cool and largely coastal region, produces glassy southern and world-class Sauvignon Blanc. It is being planted by Pinot Noir in an attempt to exploit its cool climate condition. With one of the sexiest grape variety almost knowledgeable wine consumers. Some of Chile's top wines come from his small region. It includes Cuvi, Alexander, Southern Costa, Lapostolo, and the Casablanca Southern made by Ignacio Ricobaron, one of the leading light in Chilean industry. Mapio, Repel, Quiru, and Moles, Bio, this large region not so in a map. Premium wines, it is a investable, give the quality Chile wine material growing the confidence brought about the investors to others. Okay, now I'll be discussing about the what is the Australian wines. Australian wines, let's discuss the terms of profile. A prolific wine producing countries must consume domestically. Australian wine must consume domestically. Some exported to North America, England, and now to the more countries. Captain Arthur Phillips brought the wine cutting when he had landed in Australia 1788. In fact, founded to colony New South Wales. Now there are more than the 400 wineries. Initial most of the wine from fortified port sherry etc. Table wine are also very popular now. Many reveal the best European wine, but the much cheaper. A wide range of climate and soil. Vineyard as vineyard are as much as 2,500 miles apart. Major districts are on the eastern coast, such as Hunter River Valley, north of Sydney. Hunter Valley produces only 5% of all wines, but the highest quality. Other areas, Barossa Valley, Clear Valley, and Coonawarra is in South Australia. Swan Valley on the distant west coast. Most have generic names, sometimes even without any proper likeness. For example, Clare, Burgundy, Sublime, etc. Many marketed by district names, for example, Barossa, Hunter Valley, Coonawarra. Okay, these are the and also established desert wines. Name of the some famous shippers: Penfold, McWilliam, Linman, Orlando, Yamba, Hardy, Hamilton. Best 20 the cheaper of the American USA wines. Okay, wine from the South Africa. The establishment by the Dutch East India Company of a refreshment station at the Cape in 1655. Alright. The first governors of the Cape planted the vineyard of 1675. The first okay on 2nd February 1659 the first wine was made from Cape grapes. Things improved when Rebeek was succeeded in 1679 by Simon when there is still French Huguenots settled at the Cape between 1680s 1690s that the wine industry began to flourish. Cape wine before the 20th century is the 18th century was a difficult phase for the wine industry. The first half of the 19th century brought prosperity to the industry. 1861 brought disaster. 1886 the disease Phylloxera were discovered at the Cope and disseminated in the vineyard followed. Charles Kohler 1980s cooperated with Bouncer Vineyard in Africa water soil climate are granite shale table mountain sandstone climate in South Africa. Viticulture mainly take place at the latitude 34 south in area with a mild Mediterranean climate. Rainfall mainly between May and August. South Africa main grape varieties. White wine representing two-thirds of the vineyard. Main white grapes. Colombard, Southern Sauvignon Blanc. Main red are Pinotage, Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz. South Africa. One classification on South Africa is based on the wine origin system established in 1973. A numbered seal, a bottle, they indicate its origin history, but not necessarily reflection of quality. Demarcation of area origin. The first, the first and smallest democratic production unit, state. State wines must come from a single democratic property. The second democratic production unit is a combination of different forms that is known as ward. Example: French Coke and Costonetia. Alright. Geographical unit. 2nd April 1903, the wine of origin scheme was amended to make provision for defining of the geographical unit. Currently, two geographical units have been demarcated, namely Western Cape and Northern Cape. Wine from the geographical unit may not claim wine of origin status. Main growing region: Paarl, Cape Town, Tulbagh, Worcester. Worcester is the wine regions. Major wineries: Boschedel, no, Non-Cop, Meerlust, Rupert. These are the okay, the USA wines. These are USA wines. USA wine, the fifth largest wine producing country. Quality is almost commendable. Wine producing standard after the arrival of European settler in 19th centuries. Grape introduced in California by Spanish missionaries in the Miles State. Original American wines were wild and unsuitable for making wines. The practice of grafting started in 1870s after the Fallujah disaster. Since then, remarkable improvement in both quality and quantity. In 1980s, production and consumption of alcoholic beverage was banned through an amendment of Constitution. Wine, when were converted to table grape varieties, the amendment was repealed in 1933. Wine industry started all over again. Wine were replaced, equipment were replaced, skilled labor has to be trained. Public awareness took decades. California wine industry is now only about half a century old, whereas the European country parts have history of the few countries, centuries. Some good wines were made in the last 1930s. Rapid progress after WW World War II, 1960s, countless new vineyards in California, 1970s, vinifera spread to other states, microclimate California, huge variety attend the world extension, still a young industry yet to produce the best. Wine laws of USA, winters enjoy more freedom than the European countries. Abroad classification, generic wines, vertical wines, brand names, while laws of USA traditionally refer by the country names, now more specific geographical area AVA American Viticulture Area administered by the government through BATF Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Fairness. BATF Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms. Just California 100% grape from California. AVA American Viticulture Area. A Sonoma country minimum 75 grapes from the AVA. Varietal name is 25% named grapes. State bottles 100% grape harvested and bottled by the winery. Produced and bottled by minimum 75% grape harvested by the winery. Made and bottled by 10 to 75% grape harvested by winery. Alcoholic content 1.5% variation allowed to the other side. Rosé wines are referred to the blessed wine. However, if mentioned 95% grape have to be formed and mentioned here. Winter's date generally does not appear. In California wine, date does not appear. The Northeast the center state of New York is spread as far as Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Oklahoma. Rugged climate, sturdy and robust wine. The Pacific Northwest state of Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. Winemaking is relatively new. Climate is like that northern wine region of Europe. California, about two-thirds of the all wine consumed in USA is produced here. Microclimate regions result in wide variety of wines. The notable ABV are Sonoma, Napa Valley, Livermore, Santa Clara, Cucamonga. These are the valley states. Okay, now I'm going to discussing about the Indian wine. Indian wine, what is the Indian wine? So regions of Indian wines. There are several regions, vineyards like major regions of Indian Nasik regions, Sangali, Bangalore, Himachal. There is four separate major region of vineyards. Nasik region located in the state of Maharashtra. Nasik is located in the state of Maharashtra. The region includes Pune, Nasik, Ahmednagar, above 1800 meters from the sea level. Several top wineries are located here. Chateau Indes, Sula Wines, Sangali regions. Sangali regions also located in Maharashtra, nearly 750 meters above the sea level. The region includes places like Solapur, Sangali, Satara, and Latur. Bangalore regions, Nandi Hills located about the 45-kilometer north Bangalore city. Grover Vineyards is located in Nandi Hills. Himachal region located in northern India. This upcoming state of the wine in India. Temperature varies 20 to 40 degrees Celsius. Unique climate of the region attract the winemaker to produce delicate wine grapes. Viticulture of India. Wines are often trained and bamboo and wire in pergola to increase canopy cover and get the grapes off ground where they would be more prone to fungal disease. See, generally what we do during the viticulture, we have to form the bamboo stick in several, and then we have to spread like a roof. We have to prepare like a roof, and then all the grapes will lay down on the roof, so that the grape cannot touch the floor. All right. Irrigation is essential to made by the Indian wine region, and since 1980s, drip irrigation has been widely used. The tropical condition often promote high yield, which required frequent pruning throughout the year. Harvest normally take place in September and usually done by the hand. Grape varieties. India is home several indigenous stable grape variety that can be also used in wine production. With Anabes Sahi, Arcavita, Axiom being the most common. Popular non-vintage grapes, non-native grapes, sorry, non-native grapes include the Bangalore Blue, Isabella, Gulabi, Black Muscat. The Turkish grape Sultana is the most widely planted grapes in India. Turkish grape Sultana is the most planted grapes in India. Cover more than half of the 40,000, 1,48,000 acre planted in the country. In addition to the important French varieties that Chateau Indes planted, Sauvignon Blanc, Zinfandel, Chenin Blanc, Clarity have started to establish presence of the Indian wine industry. Indian wine laws, the following particulars shall be marked illegible and indelibly on the label ground body of the containers. Name and type of the material, ethyl alcohol content in present by the volume, batch or code number, month and the year of packing, name and address of the procedure, net volume in mLs, geographical region from where the grapes are produced, varietal name of the grapes in case of single variety which is excess of 85% of volume in the bottle. If less than 85% single variety use, which makes total volume, twin varietal names shall be stipulated. When more than two varieties are used in the wine, it should be clearly stated and blended. The stipulated of Indian wines shall be appear on the label of if Indian wine is labeled from foreign imported wine in excess of 25%. Excess of 25%. Some famous winemakers Indes, Narayangaon, Pune, Grover Vineyard, Bangalore, Sula Maharaj, Renaissance Wines at the Nasik, Renaissance Wines from the Nasik, Nandi Hills, Nandi Wines at Nasik, Mandala Valley from Solapur, Flamingo Valley at Nasik, Vanicola, Goa, few brands, Red Wines, Siraj, Galaxy, Violet Cell, Saturi Merlot, Cabernet Shiraz, La Reserva, white wines, Salo Rio, Estubritus, Mark Antony, Sauvignon Blanc, Dia White, Madeira White, Rosé wines or Shiraz Rosé, Madeira Rosé, Sula Bliss Zinfandel, sparkling wine, Sula Brut, Sula Seco. Seco means dry, sweet. Alright, so these are your wines for today. Thank you very much.